Hi, I'm Amy from the Uni of New South Wales and this is What's News. So our big story up for debate today is the growing problem of violence in Aussie sport. Over the past few weeks, Australia's premier sports stars have been splashed across the front pages of newspapers for all the wrong reasons, including Brett Stewart, Brett Seymour, Anthony Watmo, Nick Darcy, the list goes on. So Jeremy went out and about on campus to see what the students had to say about all the controversy.
Hi, I'm here reporting from Upper Campus at the University of New South Wales. We're here to talk about sports, so why don't you follow me? Do you think generally athletes are more violent than regular people, or are they kind of similar? No?
I think they just have an outlet to be violent in.
Oh yeah, in the heat of the moment, I suppose, maybe. Yeah. But that's all adrenaline.
I wouldn't say so.
Would you say, with our media coverage, that the general Australian media has a tendency to pick on athletes a little bit more when it comes to personal lives, like with the whole Brett Stewart incident?
Yeah, well, Australian media, they pick on anyone they want to. They're just looking for a story, they're just looking for a hype, they're just looking for a sale.
The media just want to sell pages, and where they can make a buck, they will.
Yeah, I have no idea who Brett Stewart is.
Do you reckon that the media is kind of fair in how they cover people like the athletes, or...?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeremy. Some interesting opinions from our students. So these headlines about sportsmen's sexual abuse and violence, they've obviously done something wrong for there to be a story, but is the press blowing it way out of proportion because of the high-profile status of these stars? And is the focus on sport hiding the more widespread problem of male bad behaviour towards women in society as a whole? To find an answer, I headed off to our Journalism and Research Centre to speak to Professor Catherine Lumbee, who not only is a feature columnist on this subject, but is also a member of the Education and Welfare Committee of the NRL. So there's been a lot of press attention lately with the numerous sports stars regarding sexual abuse allegations and general bad behaviour. Do you think that the press are blowing it out of proportion?
No, I don't think they're blowing it out of proportion. I think we should be absolutely concerned whenever we see young men behaving in this way.
And Catherine, do you think there's a wider underlying problem with men's behaviour as a whole in society, and it's not just sportsmen who are to blame?
Oh, there's absolutely a wider problem. We know that sexual assault and domestic violence remain really widespread across all walks of life, it must be said, in all classes. Well, I'd invite people to find out about the history of what happens in elite university colleges to young women. I'd invite people to go and spend some time talking to people who work at Rape Crisis New South Wales, who will tell you that violence against women and children cuts right across our society, and that we all need to do more about standing up against it, about educating boys from really primary school age on about the impacts of violence against women. It's something that I think we're only at the beginning of taking responsibility for, and I'd like to see men taking responsibility for this, not just women.
An interesting viewpoint from Catherine on issues in society as a whole. But what about these young sportsmen with fame, fortune and money? Are they really more violent than the average Joe? Or is it the press to blame? I spoke to Dr. Cliff Evers, who specialises in the research of young men, their sexuality and the media, to see what he had to say. Why do some young men have behavioural problems? Is it too much testosterone overpowering their rationale and sensibility?
I never say it's just about testosterone, because the problem is that gives everyone an excuse then if they behave bad. They say, oh, I just have too much testosterone, and then they wouldn't have to take responsibility for their actions. What happens is testosterone mixes with other parts of your life. So it mixes with what you learn at school or university. It mixes with what you learn if you're religious and the moral behaviours you learn. You learn things through sport. When you're playing sport, for instance, your teammates, your coaches, etc.
Regarding the sports stars and all the controversy in the news lately, with all the fame and attention, would you say they are more violent than your regular man on the street, or are they victimised by the press because of their high-profile status?
I don't think they're more violent than the average person on the street. I mean, if you look at sexual assault by males, it's predominantly done by people within a family, not by a stranger. So it's a case of when something happens, say with a football star, They are high profile, the media picks up on it, and people talk about the issues through that sports stuff.
So there you have it, the issue of violence in sport cleared up by our very own experts here at UNSW. That's all from me, Amy, once more, but I hope to see you next time as we attack the biggest issues of the day in What's News. Bye.